That'll be one of the 50/50s I'll mention for sure.
So I'm just looking at the actual chat. Oh, we're live. Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah, I assume everyone can hear me, so I'll just give a big welcome and hello to everybody in chat. We've got the meme race of the century here between dk9146 and Xarnax42 in week 5 of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer 2021 preliminaries. So I am Mr. Holmes, and I am here with my lovely friend Beta Strap, who is going to explain a little bit of the craziness that you can expect for today. So welcome, Beta.
Hey Holmes, hey everyone. So for the active flags tonight, we have heal and hurt before more. Menu wrapping is still a thing. The death necklace is still a thing. Random monster zones still exist. Scaled metal slimes, that's an active flag as well. They will not be learning hurt more in this seed, and the hero and all NPCs will be invisible. And beyond that, there's a number of 50/50 flags. I'll just mention a couple of them off the top of my head. They could roll a vanilla map, and they could also roll vanilla spell learning, among many others.
Right, and so the runners will not know or don't know these things beforehand. They will have to adjust on the fly as it happens. So the only other thing I could maybe ask for in more detail, the scaled metal slime experience, that's part of the alpha, right?
That's a thing that became part of the version that's currently live. So once that was implemented, so it's 32 experience per level, and then once they get to level 8, they can get 255 as they could before.
Great. I need to catch up a little bit on the times too, so I'm ready to see what kind of shenanigans this will throw, because it is absolutely possible to be somewhat miserable on the runners, which I will admittedly somewhat enjoy.
I mean, the good news is they don't have vanilla stats, so they should be able to get off the ground with a reasonable amount of speed here, I would hope.
Right. So if they had vanilla stats, they would be starting level 1 at 4 strength. And because they're at 8 strength, we can suggest otherwise. So do you want to mention the 50/50 that we know is no longer an option?
Yeah, so another 50/50 option was vanilla chests and search spots, and the only way that could still be live... Oh, we have a vanilla map, by the way, which rolled active. The only way it would still be live, potentially, is if they had gold, torch, and then magic key in the throne room, which they did not get.
Right. So, like, that's a really interesting flag if it's on, because, let's say you need the silver heart. Well, you know you're looking for the grave of Garinham then. But now everything's going to be wherever. So, we'll have to see. Yeah, as far as vanilla maps go, where they started is pretty a prime location, because you have access to a lot of other things. Like, there's that cave you see nearby. You'll see where the tablet cave is. It may be a cave, maybe a town. A lot of things are close by, so you should be able to get access to something reasonably quick.
Yeah, they have access to several places, and they also gained hurt at level 2, so vanilla spells rolled off as well. So they're getting pretty lucky so far, to be honest.
How disappointing.
I'm a little upset, personally.
Now, we see Xarnax42 got early access to some Demon Knights, and that sent him back home.
Having bad monster zones early makes me happy.
All right, so yeah, with early access to Hurt, there should be The early levels should be nice and quick, as long as things aren't too mean. Although they only have 3 MP, so they can only use. Wait, oh sorry, they have 8 MP at level 2. Is it? I didn't see the gains.
I think it might have rolled the 8 MP once they gained Hurt spell, I would imagine. And this looks like Tablet Cave, although we see no sprite, which is hilarious.
Yes, the screen is not frozen. Things are actually happening. We just can't tell.
And DK got the super important wings, which are not going to be useful for a very long time, probably.
Oh man, that's ballsy, taking the tablet cave with no sprites. You really have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, I personally never dark dive tablet. I just figure the odds are in my favor that it's not going to have something useful in it before I get like a torch or radiant or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but then there's that one time. So it can be definitely worth learning, but it's probably not that important.
Yeah, in the hundreds of races I've done, it's burned me exactly once when Erdrick's sword was in it.
Alright, so we saw level 3 had no HP, no MP. MDI really loves it. Now Xarnax decides to actually go in the tablet cave as well, so I guess that's one of the benefits of having familiarity with these dungeon layouts.
I'd expect both of them to just camp in Zone 1 or Zone 2 right now, because they really can't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, basically till level 5 or 6, I reckon, just because that would be pretty straightforward.
Got a gigantic power gain. The power just doubled.
Yeah, so it's always an interesting thing, especially with vanilla maps, because you know where locations are, so there can be an advantage to trying to explore sooner rather than later. Because on this seed, they don't have any easy access to money, so I would love to be able to look for that right now.
Yeah, I feel like if they dip out on the world, like the best they could hope for is like maybe they get the Stones of Sunlight cave with gold or sword in it or something like that. Or they bump into coal right away, which has the sword. That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah, pretty much. Or even if they have enough money to buy a key. But like, the point is there are options, right? Like, you look at it, they've already seen the tablet cave. They could try and go up to Garinham, or Vanilla Garinham. There's the Vanilla Mountain Cave, the Vanilla Swamp Cave, and then once you're over there, there's Vanilla Coal and the Vanilla Heart Cave. So, depending on their agility, which is, I mean, 20 is not bad. Especially since you know exactly where you're going, there are chances for you. I'm curious who's going to be the first person to decide that.
Well, if I was the one that saw the early Demon Knight, I'd be a little bit more reluctant.
True, and we're still sitting on Hurt at level 5, so things other than that power, which I guess lets them swing a bit more, it's still not super easy at the moment.
Yeah, they're like mid-game vanilla right now as far as attack power is concerned, but they have almost no defense to speak of.
Yeah, so just to give chat an idea, what would their strength be at level 5? Like 12 or 13?
It would be hot garbage.
Is there any other kind of garbage? So yeah, just to remind people, Trails is asking what the heck is going on here. And the most obvious thing that you may see is the hero sprites are invisible, and next time someone pops into a town, you'll see that all the other NPC sprites are invisible too.
Yeah, I do love the fact that they have invisible Lorik right now.
So I remember talking to Xarnax yesterday, and one of the things he was worried about is towns like Garinham, where there's like 6 NPCs in such a tight space, could be potentially really trolly. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I tried out part of a seed with this flag set, and like I think it took me a full minute to get out of Breckenary because of I was just constantly bonking into people that I didn't know were there.
Oh yeah, then you get an NPC that's on the bridge to the item shop or something like that. And just,
Level 6 brought some decent stats and multiple spells, so I would say it's very possible that DK might push out now.
Yeah, shoutouts to Kalor and to Jana Zeal for the subs, 28 and 51 months respectively. That is a non-insignificant amount of time, so thank you.
And Trails asked what other crazy flags they used. They're not going to learn Hurt More, for example. As far as the 50/50s, we only know a few so far because we have not seen a town yet, so we don't know if the weapon shops rolled random items or random prices yet.
Alright, so if Xarnax can ever take care of this Drakima, they're both basically going to be pretty even as far as experience goes.
DK is in the mountain cave, and Magiwyvern came up with the sleep spell. So now I'm starting to wonder if are the monsters potentially vanilla monsters? Like, have we seen any abilities that deviate from that yet?
No, and especially since the Drakima has hurt and heal, that seems to strongly support that hypothesis.
Yeah, so if we got vanilla monster abilities, that means Red Dragons did roll sleep, but it also means that no monsters other than the Dragon Lord himself will have DL2 breath, which is very helpful.
Helpful or disappointing?
Helpful to the runners, disappointing to me.
So if the monsters have their vanilla abilities, is it with the same percentages as well?
I would assume so, yeah. And there's an Axe Knight coming out with the sleep spell.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, if there's a unlucky 25%er. But it's all good. We're clear. We're clear with a key, too.
Gold Torch and Key in Mountain Cave so far.
DH Stone says they're called vanilla abilities. I'll allow it.
And we got the Scones of Sunlight.
Blueberry flavored?
That is my favorite flavor of scone, so I would hope so.
I didn't know you had a favorite flavor. I learned something about you today.
I am pretty well addicted to blueberry scones, actually.
I'll need to get Spark over to make some scones next time I go to visit the crew over there. Yeah, cranberry
DK.
scones.
DK got bounced out of the mountain cave by a Droll Magi, so now he's going to load up on keys and do a treasury check and check the basement.
Yeah, I didn't catch. I assumed that DK was death warping, but we'll see. Like, probably trying to just do a gold grind. Yeah. got all the chests because there's the gold glitch or chest glitch right away, which means that got all 5. Alright, so yeah, different deviation in strategies, right? Like Xarnax has just been chilling around start, and although Xarnax is going to get level 7, I mean, if DK finds a town and is able to do something with it, it could flip pretty quickly.
Didn't look like the treasury had much of anything in it.
No, just a plethora of bamboo poles, which are probably either herbs or keys.
So now DK's got to be hoping that either the grave is underneath here or the swamp cave leading to Garenham, because otherwise he's completely out of luck, pretty much, with the gold grind, unless there's gold in this chest.
Yes. Don't speak too soon.
And there it is, because this seed is trolling me by handing them things.
Sparko made high spirits cookies once. What kind of cookies? She makes really good vegan chocolate chip cookies. They're kind of a staple, so that's my guess. Can you tell I haven't had supper yet?
I haven't either, but I ate a late lunch, so there's that.
Oh, interesting. So, DK taking a conservative approach, only grinding 5,500. That's because he hasn't seen a town yet. Proving to be a bit of a wise choice here.
Yeah, I got armored knights right outside start, and his gold is going to be going bye-bye.
So, seeing those enemies, like, they have to be... That's the northwest zone from start. I would almost immediately want to just coax my way around the mountains and start heading east, just to specifically avoid that zone. So we'll see how persistent they are.
I would definitely try that strategy as well, and I'm sure that as soon as I would see another Sharlock zone to the east with red dragons in it.
True story. So they've got 35 agility at level 7, so you're still in the territory of only being 20% to run from those fun police enemies.
Yeah, and if they're not at max HP, they could get one shot with the hurt more coming from the armored knight. And here we see Rimmeldar, which is less useful than it would have been.
At least for DK, because DK already has keys, but if Xarnax stumbles into it, it'll be a bit more interesting. But yeah, honestly, I'd say being able to get a broadsword and a half plate, that's like best case scenario for 2,800 gold. That's 20 attack and, what is it, 16 defense?
It looks like we got vanilla shops, so vanilla prices and items. Like, that was definitely a vanilla Rimmeldar.
Right. Do they have, is prices one of the random 50/50s?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I totally missed that.
We did have a chance at getting chaotic prices, but nope, we got vanilla. And with vanilla shops, if they want a flame sword and silver shield with the available gold grind, they have to find Cantlin.
Oh, that's gross. Potentially.
Well, you know what I'm rooting for. I want it to be in vanilla Cantlin's farm.
Exactly, right? We're so supportive.
Well, look, if you're going to roll a weird flag set, you have to accept the fact that people are going to want the crazy.
Absolutely. Alright, so it looks like they're both trying to go west with mostly unsuccess.
Yeah, this is an interesting little game within a game, is when you have this situation where you're bottlenecked, and then it's just a question of how patient can you be? Like, how long do you want to grind things like metal scorpions before you try to get past the armored knights and demon knights of the world again?
Right, like what would be interesting is if sleep is learned right away, because that would, with the extra attack and defense that DK has, that could open up a huge range of enemies. Like, it makes me think about the Magi Wyvern that's in the mountain cave, right?
Yes. Yeah, that would definitely be a good grind target once they learn sleep.
Even stop spell you might be able to get away with, because the Magi Wyvern has 50-50 sleep and absolutely no resistance to stop spell.
Yeah, it looks like DK is going to start pushing out again, and he made it through the armored knight zone.
Yeah, like this is the perfect example. This is what can catch you up in a hurry. Wyvern is just A+ tier enemy.
Yeah, now that we know that the monsters have vanilla abilities, which I'm sure both of them have figured out at this point, like, you'd have to be really dense not to know that they're not vanilla by now if you've played the vanilla game at all. So if you see a wyvern, it's a fantastic grind.
Right, and the Wraith Knight has 75% heal. So that's, you can get lucky sometimes, but you need to do the right damage rolls. Like in vanilla with Erdrick's sword, when you're at like level 14, that's the sweet spot where you do enough damage to two-shot it, but you like rarely ever get in that heal range.
Yeah, it would take some creativity at this point to bypass that.
Yeah, you might have to do an attack, then do a hurt, and then do another attack. I don't know. I just avoid it personally.
Yeah, I would have no interest in getting stuck in a heal loop at this point. I mean, wyverns are just so much better.
So DK just must be close to level 8. That's the only reason I can guess why he's just trying to stand there. But no, it seems like he's not quite sure what to do at the moment.
Well, let's see. If he sat in the metal scorpion zone, he'd have to kill 4 of them, 5 of them at this point. That wouldn't take that long with 67 attack power, honestly.
There's so much better. Like, you have enough stats, you got to start branching out.
And he did manage to kill a Wraith Knight, so that took him most of the way to level 8.
Yeah, and the only reason that happened is because it was definitely in heal zone and just rolled the 25% attack.
And there is a significant agility gain on level 8, so they're now over 50-50 to run against all of the non-Red Dragon Armored Knight enemies of the world, which is nice.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, they seem pretty neck and neck. Just the compensation for the experience gap with the equipment. We'll have to see if they kind of converge. Yeah, I've almost always found that in these vanilla maps, as soon as you can branch out, you just have to, because there's so many options. You know exactly where things are going to be.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of getting through the difficult zones and not seeing that 1 in 5 thing that's going to send you back every time. And if you can do that, you can find a lot of things in a hurry, potentially.
Yeah, and sometimes you can even use your knowledge of zones to your advantage. Like if there's sometimes you can just adjust your walking path to get into a different zone.
DK just got trolled by a night landing stop spell on him.
Okay, so we're gonna have to try and guess what's here potentially. Oh, never mind. just a random unattended chest sitting there. How could you pass that up? Of course, there's.
I mean, that
invisible
Staff of
NPC
Rain is just
blocking
sitting
it.
right there, DK. Come on, just go in and take it.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a pretty good grasp on the flag set here. Oh, Druin Lord. Perfect enemy. Completely perfect. I want to see what else is in that zone.
Yeah, if this happened to roll a bunch of mid-tier stuff, that desert looks really enticing.
McGrew!
And we get Vanilla Coal in Vanilla Coal.
If it has the fairy flute, I demand a reroll. Okay. Phew. We're safe. We're safe.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, he got the thing that he just exited the cave where he can trade in the thing. How convenient.
And then he can get the other thing. Yeah, now we're seeing Xarnax needs to get some equipment quick, or he could find himself sliding behind very quickly.
Yeah, but the only thing that would keep it close if he doesn't start equipping himself with things is if DK just gets into all-out exploration mode and just keeps bonking his head against like red dragons and things like that, and he just makes no progress for 10 minutes.
Or blue dragons.
Well, you know, either way.
Nice job finding that silver harp, Xarnax. It's trickier than you'd think, not knowing where you are. Especially, oh, the coordinates. The coordinates, its princess is just mandatory. I forgot about that.
I think I would try to like echolocate and bonk into the stone up above the search tile there.
Right. But for coordinates, there's you would have to be super talented.
Xarnax is finally getting a weapon, so that's nice.
Right, so that may keep Xarnax stabilized, especially with the big strength boost. Like, you need to be able to start fighting those, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 experience monsters, which DK will be able to very soon.
Yeah, that 83 attack power will really help out.
Alright. So DK gets lucky again, dodges the heal from the Wraith Knight, and gets level 9. So pretty equal footing here, I would say.
Yep, DK is, I believe he's defense breaking up through wolves, and I think he's defense breaking wraiths as well, and that's about it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So yes, we've just got our last location here on the east on Xarnax's screen, and it is the good old Jerk.
Nice to have all the essential trade-in locations out of the way.
Right, I mean, of course, you hope that you find it when you have the stuff to trade in, but what can you do?
Yeah, you gotta believe in vanilla Cantlin with the active search coordinates, which are far away, which are mandatory for Erdrick's token.
All right, so what are the locations we haven't? So the vanilla locations we haven't looked at are the Mountain Cave, Hawksness, and Cantlin. And we haven't seen Cantlin, Hawksness,
Right.
and the Swamp Cave.
Right, and then there's the second continent as well.
Yeah, and Grinham. Right. So looks
Quite a
like
few things are still outstanding, yeah. Xarnax is gonna get his Staff of Rain.
Sneaky the Lost says the two runners wanted a non-standard meme run, and that is exactly what is happening. Could be memeier, but it's an acceptable level. These are my favorite to watch, so it makes me really happy to be commentating this.
I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for a massive bottleneck that stops them from getting to the rest of the seed, and they have to grind up to like level 17 before they can possibly survive it.
Right, I mean, let's see. I'm trying to judge how these stats are compared to average, and HP and MP look low, but that's just the way the stat growth curve seems to be these days.
Yeah, strength is looking pretty solid at 68 at level 9. Agility could be better, but 49 is not that bad, honestly.
So I guess the other thing that's important to me is the enemy resistances are not randomized then, correct? If they have their vanilla abilities?
That I don't know, but I would assume that they are not.
Right, so that means you're going to have a heck of a time with these red dragons with sleep. That's probably the most concerning right now.
Well, the upshot is they only cast it 25% of the time, so it would take some ugly luck to get that.
Well, 25% of the time, it happens every time.
Well, for me, sure.
No, I thought those were 1 in 8s. Sorry to pour some salt in the wound there, buddy.
Well, the important thing is I have a save file at level 7, so I'm ready to start sciencing the level 7 Axe Knight grind.
Ooh. Yeah, let's not get it. We could talk about this for the rest of the race, I'm sure. I'm curious about what is needed to optimize that.
I'm just curious to know how many attempts it's going to take me to beat him.
Well, so we could say it's probably like a 1 in 700, so it will take you at least 3,000 attempts.
In other words, we could be here a while.
So this is Xarnax finally clearing out Mountain Cave.
I imagine when he first went in here, he might have been really worried that like sword or armor was in here, but once he clears it, he'll just be like, eh.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that Xarnax might have access to is like full plate in coal, right? full plate broadsword. That's about it.
Well, if he gets to Rimmeldar, he'd have magic armor.
True. That would be pretty nice. Especially with like the hurt more enemies that are out there.
Yeah, like the Armored Knight. And someone in chat asked why an Armored Knight is that close to the castle, and the reason is because random monster zones. So once you get out of zone 0, 1, and 2, which are the closest zones to the castle, you can find literally any enemy in the game.
Right, and to elaborate on that a bit more, so the map is 120 by 120, and it's broken up into an 8 by 8 grid of zones, where each zone is 15 by 15. And because, you know, we're nice with this randomizer, well, you guarantee that the starting zone around the castle is weak enemies, as well as the zones that are north, south, west, and east. They're always going to be just a little bit stronger, but, you know, early mid-game enemies. But as soon as you go like northwest, one zone, that's when it could be anything, and that's where these nasty enemies are helplessly slaying our heroes.
Well, the real hilarity, I think, is when Tantagel is on the corner of a zone, and then you just walk up at a diagonal and you just instantly run into a red dragon.
Right, so if it was in, say, like, vanilla Garinham location. Oh, you're saying, like, right on the corner of a zone. So, yeah, that would still happen here a bit, but...
And Xarnax found Rimmeldar and bought a broadsword, so I'm curious if he will initiate a gold grind shortly to get magic armor.
Right. And so I think I just understood what you were saying. Like, let's say the starting castle was on the top left corner of the zone 0. Is that what you meant?
Yes.
So you could take one step north, one step west, and theoretically encounter a red dragon. So that's how close they could be to the castle.
Yeah, I think my personal best, if you would call it as such, in a casual race was, like, I think I ran into a red dragon 3 steps from Tantagel.
Have you ever gotten coordinates closer than that?
Sadly, I'm not one of the people that enjoyed the 0-0 coordinates. Like, I think I've had like a 10 and a single digit one, and I think that's about as close as I've seen in my own racing.
Right. So I was part of that 0-0 race, but it was only like the flute or the token or anything. But it makes me like want to, whenever I start a siege, just to like, you know, step out of the castle, just search. Just for, you know, the 1 in 14,000 time. It's actually probably less. It's probably like 1 in 7,000. You know, about the number of attempts it will take you to beat the Axe Knight at level 7. Just in case.
I'd like them to have like a coordinate scenario where it's like Erdrick Sword or Erdrick's Armor, and it rolls onto Charlock's little island.
Is that possible?
I sadly don't think that it is, but it would be hilarious.
Right, because you could possibly get one of the like plot items, right? So I think that would be a high enough chance that we would have seen it by now.
And it looks like Garinham rolled into the Vanilla Mountain Cave location, so see if we have a swamp cave in the back.
Right, because that would give you access to so much. Because you would get through it and you'd have 2 easy locations on the other side of the map as well.
I'm amused that DK checked that weapon shop. Like, at this point, he should know it's vanilla, and he should know that a large shield is here.
Force of habit, I'm sure.
I gotta be critical. I gotta scrutinize.
Right. So, here we go through the NPC maze.
That could have gone a lot worse, honestly.
Oh yeah, the hardest part right now is not accidentally walking out of the town.
He's going to immediately get a large shield before he makes that attempt.
Alright, so just how are we doing on experience from the two? Xarnax is going to be crossing 1800 shortly. And DK's at just under 1700. Okay. Yeah, we got the grade.
Xarnax is following him into Garanham, too. And it's the grave. Is this even randomized?
Right. So now do you know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping for the Swamp Cave to be in Vanilla Cantlin. And I'm hoping for Cantlin to be on the second continent. So if they want a silver shield, they're really going to have to work for it.
That would be the best outcome, and it looks like we got a second cursed belt, and we have the flute in here.
Right, so can we possibly beat a spike tile enemy? I don't know.
Get a little lucky and they could take down a golem for sure.
Right. If they have the flute now, so the only other thing
I don't think I'd want to damage race anything else, to be honest.
You know, do the vanilla strats on the Axe Knight, just throw down a stop spell and get some herbs.
Well, 90 attack power is good. Strangely enough, that 63 HP is exactly what you'd have at level 12 in vanilla.
Right, so it should be free, right?
Yeah, just like fighting with a flame sword, right?
No. The problem with getting the flame sword is apparently beating the golem, which is impossible.
Yeah, imagine having an impossible fight against an enemy that you're guaranteed to land sleep on every single time you choose to use an item.
Alright, we got Fighter's Ring in chest number 4. So nothing super, like, game-breaking has been found yet.
And DK put up Repel, so it looks like Repel works in dungeons. I don't know what other monsters rolled into these zones.
I mean, you can always try it just might not work.
I don't think he's quite up high enough on defense to repel wyverns yet.
Yeah, part of me thinks that would be like 54 or 56. Yeah, 'cause
I
all I
just
know,
checked, it's 56.
all I know is at like level 12, you're not defense breaking it with full plate, but with the armor you are.
That is exactly right.
Oh, get baited. Erdrick's token. Oh, man.
Well, it's essential, so, you know, and he knows where the jerk is, so there's that.
Right, I mean, so what now? I guess you just gotta keep exploring the end of this first continent, the 2 other locations.
Definitely want to see what's in the Hawksness location, and he's almost guaranteed to reach it with these stats, honestly.
Okay, I believe you.
You know what I'm aiming for here.
Well, I mean, DK did encounter an Armored Knight 2 steps away from entering Gruenham, so, you know.
And it's really important that they find Cantlin and Hawksness with the 2 cursed belts. I mean, certainly could have a death necklace, but more likely than not, it'll have sword or armor.
Right, and I mean, they've already found the one in coal. So we'll have to see. But yeah, like, the experience gap has been, like, so consistent throughout this entire race. It's been kind of fascinating how stabilized it's been.
Yeah, it's been hovering right around 200 for a really long time.
Raid! Some call me Johnny with a large bottomed raid. Thanks so much, Johnny. With
Okay,
some solid Samus.
Swamp South was in Hawksness, and Swamp North is in Vanilla Rimmildar.
Right, and I do recall there was a town to the north. So that's... Have we seen Breck yet? Like, it's got to be Breck, Cantlin, and what else is missing?
Hawksness.
Oh, right, so they're all towns. We found all caves. Yeah, to everyone who just came in, this is a Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament race. It's the last week of the kind of preliminary races to decide who makes the bracket stage. And the two runners decided to agree to a silly set of flags where some things that are guaranteed are their sprites were guaranteed to be invisible. All the other NPC sprites are invisible, and then there's a bunch of other flags or options that are 50-50 that we've been learning about, and the runners have as we go.
And level 11 delivered a ton of hit points, so everything just got a lot more survivable for Xarnax.
Alright, we got Hawksness. Oh, he's just looking at enemies here. Maybe... Yeah, maybe DK wanted to try and get a level.
Not a bad idea, to be honest, because he's really close to the level.
I mean, yeah, like, obviously, if he's able to, that HP would help. And I'm curious, because we saw two enemies that are in Hawksness and Vanilla, so that just seems like it must have been a random chance sort of deal.
Yeah, that's super amusing. And for anyone that thinks that vanilla monster zones was a possibility, it was not. Random monster zones was an active flag. It was not a 50-50.
I heard Xarnax refer to this, like, we call it random percent here. I think he's saying, like, in the Z1 community, it's called tri-state, which is not like North Carolina, South Carolina. It means there's three options for flags. They can be on, off, or maybe.
Yeah, I've heard that term before, too.
Alright, DK here killing the Warlock to get to 2169 experience. That's nice.
And I see Xarnax is back in the mountain cave, so I am like 99% certain he wants to trigger a gold grind and get magic armor.
Right, and I guess we'll find out whether that is going to be down here at the Vanilla Jerk Cave or if it's going to be in Vanilla Cantlin. Yeah, these random zones have been pretty brutal. There's just annoying things everywhere.
I like to call that contaminated zones. It's like a super fun site. It's like an environmental disaster area, essentially.
Okay, so we got Caitlyn in Vanilla Jerk. So if you want the silver shield, you're gonna have to work for it.
That is a long, painful walk.
So it's gonna be interesting. Like honestly, the decision whether or not to do that for me might hinge on whether we find the armor or not. Because that could still be in Charlock, could it not?
Yeah, I mean, we have not seen what's in Hawksness, and we're about to get coordinates, which are 60
Oh,
south
man.
east.
That's in the maze, isn't it? The desert maze?
Yeah, I think that's somewhere east, like in the way to the east southeast of Hawksness, in that weird area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either in the lakes area or in like the single tile wide desert path. Oh, Brian says could be just north of Count. That's true. I don't have any like grid maps. Maybe someone will have to, look it up. 60 south, 17 east of Vanilla Breckenary.
Yeah, I'm sure some cheaters in chat have like a vanilla map with the coordinates listed on them relative to vanilla Tantagel, which would be a decent approximation for this seed.
All right, I'm on it if someone else isn't.
And it looks like Xarnax is going to do a full grind, so he's going to have to make the long trek to get to Swamp Cave, and then he's going to have to walk all the way down to Caitlyn, so good luck to him. I mean, his agility is okay, but it's not the agility I would want if I had to go through multiple Armored Knight zones, that's for sure.
Okay, so I guess at where it is, and I think it's going to be in the forest just west of Caitlyn.
Well, that's a bit of a hike.
All right, anybody else? Has anybody else figured it out? Brian thinks it's in the maze. It's very possible. I'm just trying to do it by my eye, trying to count. So definitely some error with that.
Honestly, I'd just get the princess and be done with it.
Oh, of course, of course.
Can you imagine the manual count process on this map? Oh man.
Right, and add to that, I mean, having no sprite.
And I don't think Xarnax saved after he did his gold grind either, so that's a tad bit punishing. Thing of it is, though, I mean, he can still get magic armor, he can still get large shield. After killing a few things, he can still afford the flame sword too, so costing the silver shield is unfortunate, but he can still get decent equipment nonetheless.
That is true. Sorry for the lack of commentary. I'm just trying to figure out what these damn coordinates are.
The main thing I'm noticing is like other than like the very beginning of the seed, like they've both been pretty persistent in trying to explore. Like nobody's really sticking with a dedicated grind, really. They're just continuing to push.
And yeah, I can now guarantee it's going to be in that forest west of Cantlin. Vanilla Cantlin. Alright, let's get back to the action.
And I agree with Brian, yeah, without Hurtmore, finding Erdrick Sword is super important. However, they're not really hurting for strength in this seed. I mean, 96 attack power will allow you to fight a lot of things pretty efficiently.
But I mean, with how many blue dragons there are, you could also try and take out wizards. Like, that'd be super helpful.
I'm just waiting for a Stone Man to be on the Spike in Hawk's Nest since they do not have the sleep spell yet.
Right, that would be pretty annoying.
And of course, Xarnax is walking around with a bunch of gold, and he went to the Hawk's Nest spot first before going south, so he's taking the longest possible time here to get to Cantlin.
Alright, I mean, there are blue dragons here. We've seen them, so dicey times.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a free walk anywhere in this seed by the looks of it.
I'm running out of magic, too. Alright, what's level 12 going to bring us? We've got no attack. I mean, that's fair. 17 HP. We got heal more. Okay. That's good stuff. We're getting there.
Yeah, if you can land a stop spell on the red dragon, you could technically fight red dragons right now.
But I was wondering, like, I forget what their resist is. Do you know?
I think it's 9/16, but I will look it up just to make sure.
Alrighty, I'll let you do that.
Okay, it's only 7/16 actually.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, High Spirits is saying 7/16 is the max stop spell resistant vanilla. Yeah, my brain is contaminated by Randomizer.
So is that the same for wizards too, then? I presume? Like, makes me wonder if when I'm in Hawksness at level 12, if I should just stop spell a wizard, but I'm probably more likely to just run away at that point.
Yeah, it would be amusing to use stop spell strats on a wizard and like try to grind them at some point too.
That's true, but I mean, one of the things is not having magic. Alright, so is DK doing, setting up a gold grind here?
I would imagine that he is, now that he knows where Cantlin is.
Alright, so this is going to be fun times. We'll see if anyone gets the princess. Whether someone wants to go into Charlock first, I don't know.
Well, Xarnax did something interesting with his remaining gold. He did opt to get a silver shield. Like, he didn't do the thing where you go and just say, well, you know what, I'll just get magic armor, large shield, flame sword. He opted to get the silver shield.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, they're not hurting for attack, like you mentioned. Still without any armor, as far as we see. I'm not sure if that has changed. Yeah, DK is setting up the gold grind, so you have to go to the Vanilla Stones Cave, which has the Vanilla Stones Cave. Unfortunately, did not have the Vanilla Stones.
We can't get everything we want, sadly. I wonder if Xarnax is going to check the Hawk Spike now.
Right, I don't think we've even seen what's there yet, have we?
Nope, everybody's just gone in and gone out. I mean, DK checked the zone, but that's it.
Yeah, I still have no idea who's in the lead here. Like, I would have to think if Xarnax beats this spike and gets the sword, that may bump him up over the top.
Yeah, if Xarnax gets an Erdrick's armor or sword here, he's clearly in the lead, and if he takes a death without getting anything, then he's slightly behind.
Right, yeah, that's pretty high risk, isn't it? Okay. Oh yeah, Xarnax doesn't have heal more yet. It's only at level 11. This is gonna be... I don't think this is gonna happen.
He basically needs a crit at this point, probably. Or he needs, like, the blue dragon to spam baby breath or something like that.
Yeah, he ended up being one attack short. He did something like 72 damage.
Yeah, I think I'd want to get... In that scenario, I think I'd want to get level 12 before checking that spike tile. I mean, he's really, really close to level 12. It's like 4 Droll Magi or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Should get it just naturally walking.
Because, like, I would be targeting... Obviously be targeting heal more, of course. But the other thing would be learning the sleep spell if you happen to bump into a Stone Man spike tile.
Okay, finally. Seemed like DK tried to cast Stop Spell on that Armored Knight like 4 times without it working. So that's some beta luck right there.
Well, I have called this coin flip randomizer in the past, and I stand by that.
Almost seems like more effort than it's worth here. I mean, your only other option is to try and run. Take those coin flips.
Yeah, I think he's like 1 in 3 to run on them right now, which is not great odds.
Alright, so you just burned all your MP like 20 steps from home. Now what?
Now you get another Armored Knight, and run away first try, of course.
Yeah, I'm just trying to analyze what's going on here. This is... We know what we've got. We've got outstanding coordinates, potentially outstanding Hawk's Nest search spot. And if there's something on both those spots, one of them has to be the sword or the armor.
Well, personally, I'm rooting for an empty Hawk's Nest and a death necklace on the coordinates, but that's just me.
Right. I mean, right now I'm hoping for that, but the hungrier I get, the less I will root for that.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, we've already got some predictions in chat where these things are going to be. Oh yeah, I just realized that. So when DK was fighting that armored knight, he's carrying a full sack of gold pieces. So that kind of... He thought, all right, I'll just take care of it and we'll keep going. And then things got out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, he's walking around with silver shield money, so... This is not a walk I would enjoy on any level.
And we'll see what happens with this Axe Knight. I don't know. Yeah, that's a risk he takes. So I personally would not reset. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, given what the zones are, you could easily lose a whole truckload of time trying to walk that gold all the way down there multiple times.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, just keep leveling. And then you can make a decision later on if you really need it.
In DK's position here, I just go to Rimmeldar and get magic armor at this point as a hedge against the Erdrick's armor being in Sharlock.
Right, that seems reasonable.
I mean, not so much for the defense, really, but just to mitigate the issue of Armored Knights throwing Hurt Mores and Wizards throwing Hurt Mores more than anything.
Right, that's true. I think the only place we've seen Wizards, or like I've seen them, was in Hawksness. But they could be all throughout Sharlock, and if the armor's in Sharlock, then, you know, you think Wizards are safe until they start bombing you for 43.
Yeah, it's like, do you really want to roll the dice on your run luck against a monster that can tag you for 45 in one shot?
Yeah, this is just brutal. Like, this is, like you said, you were hoping for a bottleneck, and we got one.
The funny thing is, it could have easily been worse. Like, we know that Armored Knights are right next to the start. Like, if they rolled multiple slots in that zone, like, this could have been a lot worse.
Oh, we've got Xarnax searching for coordinates here. And it is Mr. Sword Esquire.
I am thoroughly disappointed now. Now I just have to hope that Hawksness is nothing. Or Deathless.
Yeah, if the armor's in Sharlock, this is gonna be brutal. Like, they still only have 53 magic. Like, what are you gonna do?
Just gotta find a zone somewhere and stay there. Just try to find the most efficient thing and sit there for the next 30 minutes is my suggestion to the runners.
Yeah, that might be that Hawksness zone with Green Dragons and Wizards that you might be able to two-shot soon with the sword.
It's really not the worst idea in the world.
Remember, these runners are guaranteed to not learn Hurt More. So you either have to try and take a Blue Dragon Spike Tile or, you know, find something else tasty. There is no free lunch because the enemies have vanilla spells, so you're not gonna encounter some random golem with stop spell.
And also, Xarnax got those coordinates without Gwaelin, which is pretty impressive. But it also means that we still have no idea what the Swamp Spike is either.
Right, and I mean, is it even worth looking at this point? Like, Axe Knights would kind of suck because they could randomly put you to sleep. Is there anything else that you'd want to see?
I mean, it's also out of the way too, which doesn't make it particularly helpful. I mean, one end of the swamp cave, it's a fair walk to Garenham. It's a fair walk to Cantlin, whichever side you go out of. So it's not ideal no matter what you do with that. And yeah, I don't really see a viable spike grind. I mean, maybe if it rolled Stonemen and they learned sleep at 13, maybe.
So, speaking of 50-50 flags, there's a 50% chance DK is going to the bathroom or yelling at something right now, and I don't know which one it is.
Can it be both?
Oh, the imagery.
I mean, it is just over an hour in, you know.
Right, so it was approximately the length of a bathroom visit, but again, it's 50-50 whether he washed his hands or not, so... Well, we'll just have to ask after.
Maybe a stat check will reveal it.
Yes, we have access to everything here.
I don't see it on the tracker, so I'm gonna say he didn't. And we found a wizard outside of outside of the Hawksness zone, so they are on the overworld wandering around apparently.
And also there's the prediction if he did wash his hands, did he use soap? And the consensus of one is just water.
If he washed his hands properly, the break would have lasted at least another 30 seconds. So that's how I'm inferring that he didn't.
Right. However long it takes to sing Happy Birthday. That's the education we provide in this commentary.
Well, in my former profession, we did have to do a competency where properly washed hands, so there you go.
Yeah, I mean, especially with COVID, my wife works in the service industry and has to wash hands multiple dozens of times a day. So I know all about it.
And DK got sleep-locked by a red dragon. It wasn't that long ago when Xarnax also got sleep-locked by a red dragon, so... This is clearly the suffer phase of the race. They have to find a grind somewhere, and they're struggling to find one, by the looks of it.
Right, and so it seems like just a thing of trial and error right now. Like, I mean, I don't want to say he was asking for it, but he did not even try and stop spell the red dragon. So... when it can hit you for 44, 100 health goes down pretty quick.
And agility did climb up to 73, so at least there's a reasonable chance of running on them at this point. I mean, if you think 40% is reasonable.
Solid math, I appreciate it.
Thank you. But I'm surprised that nobody's just settled into a grind somewhere yet. I mean, they're just... is this one of those weird seeds where we just don't have an efficient grind available anywhere, and like every zone is contaminated with something that can kill you?
Sure seems like it. I mean, I'm surprised no one's gone back to Hawksness yet. Like, you know, it's a blue dragon. Like, you gotta at least check, right?
I mean, if you were really desperate, you could walk into the mountain cave and like grind Magiwyverns or something like that with repel up. I mean, their defense is so low right now that like they're a long way from repelling them.
Heck, I would objectively say the Blue Dragon might be the best grind right now. I mean, it's not that far to get to Catlin.
And I think we saw a spike check, and I think that was an Axe Knight on the Swamp Spike.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Like, you're getting to the point where you can two-shot them with 123 attack power. But again, do you take the risk with sleep? And also, we see metal slimes, so if someone gets the death necklace, they could, contemplate grinding with that on. It's lots of fascinating things. But if you want to take the death necklace off, you have to go to Breckenary, which is in Vanilla Catlin. So many options.
That's a really ugly scenario to have to do that walk to take the death necklace off. But I mean, if anybody was willing to try something like that, it would be Xarnax. He always has metal slime grinds on the front of mind when he plays this.
Oh man. Hold on, Xarnax. Think you gotta go back. You gotta go refill.
And DK gets his sword.
Oh, perfect. So, and that was without Princess as well, right?
Yep, he just walked it.
Right, so both runners were prepared. They had their vanilla maps open, or they had like some sort of grid with like how far is it between each vanilla location, and you work it from there.
Yeah, it would have taken a lot longer if they had to do that the normal way.
Oh, aren't you happy?
I was bound to get something out of this seed at some point, wasn't I?
I can see you just like rubbing your hands together in excitement. But yeah, Death Necklace grind. Come on, man, that's got to be amazing. You're doing what? 1 to 3 to metal slimes. You're probably two-shotting them almost every time.
Yep,
That's so good.
It's definitely a consideration. That's for sure. And they have a fairly decent hit point total right now, too.
Right, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you get a big MP gain, and now you have to go. So, who knows? Who knows?
Obviously, the big downside of it, though, is like, if he puts it on and he takes a death, we know what zone is outside start. And in order to get his resources back, he'd have to walk all the way over to Rimmeldar, and that's not a free walk, unfortunately.
Right, and we have no Erdrick's armor, so it's not like you're regaining any health on the way either.
I think I would want magic armor before I would even consider doing it.
But is there even anything dangerous in that zone? Like, I saw Drakis. Maybe there's a zone boundary there, so maybe it's a bit different, but it's going to be interesting. I want to see it. I want to see it just because it would be cool to see the difference, right? And it's always the risk-reward scenarios are fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a meme race, you should be willing to take a gamble like that just for funsies, I would say.
Alright, we're gonna have to see, because DK is gonna beat this blue dragon. Oh yeah, and they're at 90 strength, 118 HP. Like, it's almost go mode. Do you just go and try and get the armor now?
Uh, 74 MP, having to walk through all those damage tiles. You're going to be pretty light on MP for the rest of the dive, which means fighting down would be considerably harder. with fewer resources. I feel like I'd want at least 80 MP, probably.
So in your mind, it's just you want to be able to do it in one fell swoop, or you just want to make sure that if you do it, you're going to get it?
Both of those things. I mean, I tend to lean toward doing single dives for the win. Since we know that these are vanilla monsters, like, nothing can do 72 damage to these people, which is really, really nice when the armor is in Charlock. But I mean, there's nothing stopping, like, red dragons from ambushing, sleep-locking them, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd be like, in this case, I'd at least want to try to go for a single dive win, knowing that nothing has DL2.
Right, so there's still, the runners are still not like perfectly synced up. Like, they're at the same level. Xarnax has a silver shield and no armor. DK has a large shield but half plate, so actually has 6 higher defense. I'll have to double check if Xarnax ever looks at his stats, whether he does actually have no armor right now.
Xarnax is looking for metal slimes, by the way.
Let's go! Let's go! Yep, no armor. That is the ultimate meme right there.
Well, I mean, if you can do naked percent, you pretty much have to, right?
Okay, so we've seen Goldmen and Magicians. I swear I saw Drackies here. It's looking pretty gross.
Yeah, the other enemies in this zone are pure garbage by the looks of it.
Like, I could see it being viable if you can one-shot them, but, like, guaranteed, but you can't. Actually, it even looks like you're doing 1 to 2. Now that I look at it.
Well, if he was willing to put the death necklace on, his attack power would go up to 142. And that would be a guaranteed one-shot of metal slimes, I believe.
Oh, right! He doesn't have the death necklace on. Of course, of course, of course. Interesting.
Maybe he just wants to find where the zone of them is first before he puts it on.
Right, because there is like a couple zone boundaries around there. I'm not positive exactly where they are.
Looks like he's giving up and he's just going to go to the Hawk's Nest spike.
Right, and I think that is the play, to be honest. We'll have to see what happens at 15. Like, they could get naturally enough. They only need 4 attack power to be able to really reliably one-shot metal slimes.
What I also think would be the play here for Xarnax is to get full plate. I mean, his defense is crap. Like, if he gets full plate, he's defense breaking werewolves, wizards, star wyverns, and he is just shy of defense breaking green dragons.
Right, and I'm not sure if we've established if repel works in caves or not, and that could help in your dive as well.
Yeah, the last time I saw DK throw repel in a cave, like, we were seeing blue dragons and things like that, so it's like things that wouldn't have been repelled anyway.
Alright, so we got our 5 power, we got 9 HP. Almost guaranteed Death Necklace territory. Yeah, really only, if you're looking purely on experience, there's only a minute and a half separating the two. Yeah, you better be careful, Xarnax. It's not a short walk to Cantlin. It's not long, but it's not short.
So it's about 12 swings, 9 heal mores, a ton of HP, 84 agility. Like, to me, this looks like go mode. I mean, like, why not go get the armor and win, you know?
Or at the very least, you know, get the armor and maybe swing through some stuff, who knows.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be forced into walking back and forth for 5+ minutes to get 16 here. And it looks like DK did a smart play. He bought leather armor so that the merchant would buy his half plate, and then now he can afford magic armor before he dives. So I definitely expect a Sharlock dive here.
Yeah, that's definitely a 2000 IQ play right there. I love it. In fact, that's something like that is what I would do in a vanilla speedrun when I'm doing my flame sword strats, where you can actually buy a bamboo pole in that first shop, so you can sell your broadsword or your flame sword to get money to upgrade.
Yeah, I definitely recall seeing you do that, and that's what I thought of when you did it.
Alright, so we'll have to see what the runners do here. Looks like DK is heading Sharlock direction.
I'd expect Xarnax to walk into Cantlin and get full plate and then dive.
Yeah, especially if... well, we'll see if he buys full plate.
I mean, it's clearly the thing you'd want to do. I mean, it would bump his defense up to 88, right? So that gets rid of, assuming repel works in dungeons, that gets rid of green dragons on down, and that's extremely valuable.
So how many attacks were you thinking are needed for victory?
About 12.
I don't know if it's doable in one dive then, because you're
he also, at 127 HP, he also has the option of putting on the death necklace as well, so if he wants to be super aggro, he has that option.
Right, and I mean, you're gonna have only 81 defense with Erdrick's armor, so you'd be looking at 49 swings too, right? So, ugh. What do you go down to at 127? Would that be 95?
Depends on exactly how the rounding works. I think it would be 95, but yeah.
Might even be 94. Or no, there's no way it could be 94. It's either 95 or 96, right?
Yeah, and we have Axe Knights in the top zone of Sharlock, and since they like to throw sleep, this is an interesting little wrinkle to the situation here.
Right, so we'll see here. Like, again, if Xarnax is able to use Repel, you're going to be not seeing wizards, not seeing green dragons. But Xarnax is not going that direction, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little confused here because he was just in Cantlin, so he got full plate, which I totally agree with. I think that's a pretty straightforward play. He had the option of clearing out inventory and loading up on fairy water if he wanted to do that, so he could have gotten rid of a whole bunch of monsters on the way to Sharlock, not to mention potentially in Sharlock itself, but he looks like he's going for the spike grind again. He's not happy with 15.
Right, and so maybe it's just the assessment, you know what, I'm probably not going to be able to do it all in one dive, so let's just get grinding and then we can, hopefully.
So that raises an interesting question. Which do you think is faster? Grinding to 16 on the assumption that 16 gives you the stats necessary to win in a single dive, getting armor and going to the Dragon Lord, or diving on 15, getting the armor, casting outside if you have to, and rediving for game after that?
Well, I mean, if you have to cast outside, you've obviously done something inefficient, right? So you gotta hope to be able to do it, otherwise you've just wasted your time. Yeah, it's tough to say, like, it could go either way.
I mean, DK is significantly down on resources, so this is definitely a separate dive scenario now, so... Ugh. Yeah. This is just... Ugh. And there's red dragons, too.
So DK is... I mean, after this fight, we'll be only 800 away from 16, so... It's not the worst thing in the world. But just the one thing you can't die. If you die, you have to walk all the way back.
Although, to be fair, casting outside, having to walk all the way down to Cantlin, and then come all the way back up, that's a horrible walk, too. Like, these are just... Whether you're dying or casting outside, these are both terrible scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the one benefit that DK gets here is the information, right? Like, hey, there are reds in both these zones now. So, poop. Like, meanwhile, Xarnax will get level 16 and maybe he decides, hey, let's go. And then is running from everything, and then all of a sudden runs into the Fun Police Brigade. And then maybe dies and wastes even more time. So who knows, right? There's so many different ways this can play out.
All I know is I want an empty 16 with like 2 hit points or 1 agility or something like that. No,
well, I mean, I can tell you there's one thing they're guaranteed to get at 16.
Well, yes.
That is the sleep spell, which they cannot use on these stone men right now. Yeah, man, if this works out for DK, this is almost like perfect timing.
Now watch the armor be in vanilla sword chest. So much for that.
Rip. Do you see what the spike tile is now? Well, I guess, obviously, or he'd be just going outside.
Well, you may as well. I mean, if it's an armored knight or a red dragon, you're gonna have to budget a stop spell cast or 2.
I mean, maybe not so much a red dragon. I would just risk it, but I'm... That's just how I am. Alright, so they're both going to be getting this level pretty much at the same time. I mean, here's Xarnax. Oh.
Okay, then. I guess he's going to get it on a single dive. How about that? Now that I've said that, we're probably looking at a Red Dragon sleep lock scenario because I just said what I said. But I don't believe in commentators' curses or curses of any kind because that's just superstitious nonsense.
Oh, this is going to be so close. Like, again, Sneaky was mentioning that he thought we established that repel will work. And so if that does happen, you know, I gotta say Xarnax has the advantage.
Yeah, without question. Also, the tracker needs to update DK. He has Erdrick's armor at this point, by the way.
Oh man, I can't wait for this. There's so many interesting things that we're gonna have to talk about in this interview. Like, I really like DK's decision to go get the armor. The way the stats rolled, it might backfire. And what can you do? Like, it's kind of thing where you make either choice, you could be wrong either way.
Well, the upside to his strategy is he's not going to take any damage walking through the barrier tiles, so he'll have more resources to work with.
Right, but I mean, they've got MP for days, so... You just have to make sure, like, I see runners do this, and it makes me cringe. Like, they'll walk on those barrier tiles till they're at, like, 12 HP. Don't do it. If you're at 60, just throw the heal more. Don't put yourself at, like, 35 and then get hurt more by a wizard.
My personal preference on the damage tiles is to, like, I like to do a mix of herbs and heal more to keep HP high.
Right, like, the way I see this, unless something tragic happens, they're both going to be in the Dragon Lord at the same time, right?
The only possibility that could make it deviate considerably from that would be like if Xarnax decides to go to the vanilla sword chest first. That will add some time to his dive, of course. Something as nonsensical as like the red dragon encounter rate between the two of them could skew this heavily too if they get unlucky.
Oh my goodness, Xarnax, what are you doing? See, this is the example. Walking to the end of the swamp with 9 HP. Ah! Drives me insane.
Yeah, I mean, his max HP is 130, so I mean, even if you're just looking at it purely from efficiency, he should be casting Heal More at 30 HP.
I'm both very happy and very angry that we got an example of that. And here he does it again. Okay, 33, okay. Breathe, Mr. Holmes, breathe. All right, here we go. They're neck and neck. Okay, does Xarnax, do you have any fairy water? I would throw it. Yep, there's one. I guess we'll find out, right? If we see a green dragon, then we know it's not working. But I think it is. And I think that's going to make the difference, honestly.
What's also super nice is even if they have to dump a fair bit of resources, they're at the HP where the Death Necklace is totally fine, especially for Xarnax with his 88 defense. So that would subtract a few swings on DL2, which is nice. It's a nice little option to have if you have to use it.
Right, and just to give an idea, you probably only need 8 heal mores at this point. And they started with 15. Xarnax is at 12 currently. So still wiggle room. Oh, that looks like a vanilla sword check. Oh, you called it. You called it.
Yeah, and I can't say I really blame him, because if the armor was up here and he went to the treasury first, it's super punishing, so I can see it's totally a defensible play.
This is gonna be so close. Oh man. So what do we got here? Like, even if that was another herb, that would be at least something, because I don't think he has any more left.
I do love the fact that it was a cursed belt, though.
Alright, so Xarnax is about a zone ahead, but has to go check for the sword, or for the armor. But it's going to be the first chest if that's what he checks, so it's not going to be a long search. And yeah, the repel is just paying off in spades.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what exactly the bottom zone is, he could easily see like 2 to 3 extra encounters having to walk to and from the treasury.
Right, so we've seen Stone Men, we've seen Axe Knights, we've seen Red Dragons. I mean, who knows what the Spike Tile is? Armor Knight could be annoying. Yeah, here we go. They're both going to be on this last floor. Like, DK's in the U-shaped floor right now.
Yeah, we are still well within RNG as far as finishing order here. I mean, all it takes is one awful encounter to cost Xarnax the lead.
Right, and so they both encountered Red Dragons, and they both used Stop Spell. And it both worked.
Yeah, with this attack power, with these resources, with the vanilla abilities, you got to do what you can to remove the volatility.
But I mean,
if you get there, it's a win.
It's a 9/16 to get the Stop Spell, right? Whereas it's almost a 50-50 to just run and be done with it. So there's downsides either way.
Yeah, it's always a brutal sort of trade-off in that scenario, because you can easily get stuck in like a 10x run block loop or something stupid like that and lose 2 or 3 heal mores.
I mean, same thing with Stop Spell, but then you're losing Stop Spell magic too. So I wonder if anyone's gonna plop on the Death Necklace here, because that could make the difference.
It is a slightly faster fight, although with 140 attack power,
Here we go. Oh yeah, love those rolls, 16 and 18. Yeah, and they're both going to be on the Dragon Lord. But it looks like Xarnax is going to squeak through and knows his math. No, he can't get hit for 49. Accidentally tries to cast Repel, doesn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, as a rando runner, how often do you get to this point where you don't have hurt more? Like, you're at level 16 and your brain is just screaming, you have hurt more in your menu and you have to hit up twice.
Well, I mean, at least the plus thing is, if you tried to cast Repel, it would screw you over. So, it's a good failsafe.
I wonder if that can be coded out of the game so that you can cast Repel in battle, but nothing happens.
It'd be interesting if that would be like an Expel cast. But yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, maybe DK will throw a YOLO hurt more, but they can't even do that. So it may come down to like, well, hey, if DK can get a couple double attacks, that will save menuing time. But no, this is gonna be within a minute finish, as we see Xarnax just finish it off.
Yeah, super close, super competitive all the way through. Xarnax had a slight experience lead for a really long time, and then it flipped for a bit. And yeah, looks like the difference is Xarnax grinded that extra level and did a single dive, and DK did a separate dive and just kind of got hosed by the gigantic MP gain on the next level.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the luck of the roll at this point. Oh, nice attack on 6 DK. Excellent. Thank you for that swag. If anything, DK is top of my books right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, at least some people maintain their counts through the Dragon Lord fight. I can't imagine anyone that wouldn't. Oh wait, I didn't.
Oh, man. Wow, so the final gap was 46 seconds. And I think we got just the right amount of suffering in this sea. This is perfect.
Yeah, DK was 17 seconds away from finishing at 142.42, sadly. That would have made Xarnax happy.
Oh, man. Well, we have people here. One of them is named DK. Welcome. Nice. That was enjoyable. Nice attack on 6. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I was like, well, shit, it's over anyway. If I miscounted, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that was... I think if you do decide to watch this back, you'll quite enjoy it. It was so close throughout the whole thing. Probably we're within 200 or 300 experience since like level 8. So yeah, the only thing that decided it really was you just got hosed by level 16 having all that magic, and Xarnax just did it in one dive because he got the level first. So I mean, what can you do, right? Can't fault the play at all.
Yeah, I mean, we were so far off at that point, it just made sense to try and do a double dive. But yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is ridiculous. This could have all been one dive. But, it is what it is.
Hey, Xarnax, congrats. Very, very well played.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. GG.
I'm glad you finally decided to get some armor on. Thanks for that.
I was wondering why I wasn't repelling some of these mid-tier enemies. It never occurred to me until, like,
Yeah, so just to fill you in, DK, Xarnax did not have any armor until about an hour 20. And I was looking at the tracker, and I was like, does he really have no armor, or did we just miss that? And I wonder if he'll pull up his stats, and then like 30 seconds after you pulled up your stats, I was like, no, he just has no armor.
That's pretty daggone funny. And GG's Xarnax.
Hey, thanks. You too. Man, I'm excited to watch this one back, just seeing how close the times were.
Absolutely same.
Did you have any Red Dragon troubles?
The first time that I ran into one, I didn't know about the surprise sleep. Actually, the first one I killed with no issue. The second one's what slept and wrecked me when I was heading down towards the cords.
Oh, wow. Did you not realize that enemy abilities were vanilla?
Nah, I don't know the vanilla enemy abilities, so I just rolled with things.
Right. So yeah, the Red Dragon is 25% sleep. So it's very possible if you didn't know, you might not see it for a while. So now you'll never forget. That's the thing.
Well, that explains the 25% sleep on the Axe Knight that crushed my dreams of a silver shield and all that. Yeah.
Oh, nice. You did the same thing I did. Gold grind and then not save?
Oh yeah, there wasn't no saving. I said it was a one and done trip, and I made it maybe a quarter of the way to where I needed to go and lost it.
See, I got lucky because I at that point I think I was level 10 or 11, and I knew since we had the no hurt more flag on, I knew flame sword would be valuable if I think I knew at that point either the sword or the armor had to be in Shylock. And so I was like, I'm just going to gold grind for full everything because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of grinding outside of Shylock and we're not going to get hurt more. So I did 33,000. I died once, but then I got to Cantlin with at least enough to buy the shield. And then I got lucky because I don't know if it was lucky or not, that the sword was in Hawksness and not the armor. I'm not sure which would have been better for me.
Right. And so I will just interject briefly. And honestly, that's having the silver shield was probably the difference, because you were able to skip like encounters in Shylock, right? You were able to defense break everything up to Green Dragon. So it would have been like within seconds if that wasn't the case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying the whole dive. I was like, oh, I'd be repelling him as I kept getting back attacked by werewolves. Man,
vanilla, it's amazing to me how interesting vanilla map can still be. Like we did I played a couple seeds earlier this week with similar flags, and 2 starts in a row that were in Cantlin. Mr. Holmes was racing me with those. and then that's always interesting because you've got so much to do before you can even begin to explore. And then when you start right in the middle of the world, like you've got like two very different directions, and you've got a lot of exploration to do still.
Absolutely agree. No, this was a good setup. I like when you start near that vanilla-ish area there because you have to split and decide which way you want to go.
Yeah, and you got some options. It took me another thing that was a lot of fun. I didn't do this in some of my practice races and learned to do it for this one. Pulling up a map that shows exactly where all the zone boundaries are. That like that area just north of just like one zone northwest of Tanagel that had like Axe Knights and a few other nasty things. Having that map, eventually I was able to look at it and see that there was a path like that just didn't go through that zone at all. Little things like that came up pretty big, I think.
Right, I would refer to that zone as Charlock West. And just to give an idea of like the things we were thinking about here, because I know Xarnax saw those metal slimes just south of Hawksness, tried to at least find some, and they just never showed up. But just to give you an idea, to expand on your point, how interesting vanilla maps can be, we're talking about when you're at 82 strength, we're like, hey, maybe they could put on the death necklace and fight metal slimes. But it's like, oh man, if they were to die, they would have to be a long walk to Grinham, or Vanilla Grinham. And if they ever didn't get the HP to get uncursed, they'd have to go to Breckenary, which is in Vanilla Cantlin. So there would just be so many insane options.
Push to talk, keep slipping. There we go. Even worse, the death necklace was only 50-50 to do anything at all.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Oh man, no wonder no one used it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm ruling that out unless it's like an absolute I need to take a chance type dive thing.
If I had died after I picked it up, I would have saved and then tried it on, but I never did.
Yeah, so I guess I don't even know if it would have done anything. So it'll be interesting to see. Is there any way to like find out? Or is it just you'd have to do it empirically?
I'm sure someone who knows how to dig through the code could figure it out, but might be easier to just do it, play through it. But man, I really appreciate DK rolling with these flags. This is a lot of fun. I enjoyed this race a lot.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad you brought it up because, yeah, I enjoyed it a bunch too.
You got anything to add, Beta?
I'm just curious, when Xarnax took his death after gold grinding, I was wondering if perhaps you considered maybe getting magic armor, flame sword, large shield as a backup strat as opposed to silver?
No. Did not enter my mind. Because I knew I was going to get either Erdrick's armor or Erdrick's sword, but I didn't know which. And I also knew I wasn't going to get a better shield than silver, and this was the only chance I had to get that. And again, because it was still at least probably 4 or 5 levels to go, and I knew we weren't getting hurt more. I knew that defense was going to be important.
Totally reasonable.
Alrighty. Any other comments, concerns, questions, queries, quorums, anything, even from chat? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. So thanks so much for inviting me in beta. It was a blast. I'm glad you are both fine purveyors of memes. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys doing this as well. This was fantastic, and just good luck to everybody in the upcoming tournament, and thanks to RPG Limit Break and everybody behind the scenes.
All right, yeah. So, go ahead.
I was just going to echo exactly what DK said. Awesome.
So, obviously, the big shout out goes to the runners, dk9146, Xarnax42. Big thanks to Betastrep for helping me with the commentary. And behind the scenes, we have Schmike doing tracking. We have High Spirits doing the restream. Or maybe I got the order wrong, I forget. But thanks so much to everybody. And this has been an absolute blast. And I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. So if there's nothing else, thanks so much, everybody. And I hope to see you around for the rest of the tournament. Take care.